Alright guys, hello and welcome back. It is time for a quarterfinal matchup. It is going to be Noble Esports to face off against Crusaders in this one. Now, Noble Esports, we saw it come out of the gates very, very strong. They ended up taking a first place finish week 1, and then week 2 were just, random seeding still coming into play for some of these teams. Knocked out very, very early. I believe it was a round of 16 knockout against... I don't remember who it was. I want to say it was just Resist Gaming, but I can't remember. It's been too long. So it wasn't because, it was a bad showing. And then the ensuing weeks afterwards, kind of a rough road as well. They really weren't making it all the way through to the finals, and not necessarily through any fault of their own. They were just running up against good teams early on in the bracket, just the way the brackets kept working out.
Yeah, that's just how it was working out for them. So they had a rough kind of early time. Things weren't 100% going to plan. That's just how their opening sort of spell went after that first week, but now they're here. They're on track to qualifying to the round robin stage, and hopefully they can put in a good showing. What it could mean as well is that they went through a dip, they went through some roster swaps, they didn't kind of get what they really wanted from the drafting stage, the patches unfavored them, maybe that was something that happened, but they're here now. They're going to make a threat, they've got an Athena in the jungle, and they've got a Guan solo with an Ares support. This is going to be interesting, man.
Yeah, that is for sure. Athena getting locked in. She's a strong powerhouse in the support roles, but she has the option of rotating around as she wants. Kind of like Neath that has kind of an ambiguity of where exactly she can be placed. We see it generally, solo or jungle. Up in the SPL, Kiki for AFK pulled, Athena mid lane because why not? And it worked. He had no clue what items to build, but apparently, it worked. Sometimes odd stuff like that can happen. So Athena, the possibility to go pretty much anywhere but the hunter role in that dual lane. We've seen strange things, so that could always be on the table as well. But nevertheless, it's going to be Serqet, Isis getting locked in as the second and third picks of the game. So Crusaders is going to have strong jungle presence. Isis getting picked up. It'll be BK Haste in the mid lane. We see him a lot on Agni and a couple times on Poseidon. Isis, not something we've seen quite so much, but early game wave clear is very strong for her. Good setup with the Spirit Ball, Cirque Protection, good zoning, good damage, good healing as well. So a very strong god.
Yeah, there's a lot of potential here for them, and the composition that, that they're running. But oh, sorry, I've gotten really gassy all of a sudden. That's not the best thing to do when you're casting, unfortunately.
Did you accidentally get some spider venom in your mouth? I know you have that immunity thing, but I've heard it can still cause some indigestion if you happen to digest anything of it, any of that venom. Maybe some nasty spider guts that you I was going someplace with this, but I'm not getting there. So we'll just pretend. Australia. Many, many venomous, deadly creatures. Apparently you accidentally ate one of them, and it's trying to fight its way back out of your stomach. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Speaking of venomous creatures, Medusa not going to be making a showing this time around. The final ban will be Xbalanque getting banned out by Noble Esports.
Interesting to see that as well, and the fact that they've also run through with the Medusa ban. So there's a lot of hunters being taken off the table here. Neath, Medusa, and Xbalanque, 3 of the bans, and 2 of the other bans focused on towards Guardians as well. Especially, there's an Athena and Ares on the board, and a Geb on the board. There's a lot here on the table.
Well, Apollo gets locked on in for the Crusaders, or excuse me, for Noble Esports. That kind of gives you the idea. This is likely going to be a double hunter composition. They're very squishy overall. Apollo, we don't really see a whole lot in the hunter role with that dual lane, generally speaking. That said, Medusa's banned, Neath is banned, Xbalanque is banned. Kind of scraping the barrel a little bit. On the other side, they're looking at Ullr right now. He's strong, to say the least. He has that kind of, just sort of general strong presence, the axe stance, extra utility with the stuns, the leaps, the extra movement speed. He'll be a very strong pickup for that lane. There's Guan getting locked in. You talked about that a little while ago. Someone was ahead because they don't know when to press the enter button at the correct time.
Well, no, I pressed the enter button at the correct time this time. It's just, spectator client issues. Hashtag spectator client. That's just how it worked.
But technically it was a spectator client, but it's not a thing or person, so it clearly is not the spectator's client's fault. So it has to be you.
It has to be me. Alright, well, with the Ullr and Guan locked in, there's a lot of tankiness with this composition coming through from the Crusaders as well. And they've got a high amount of bursts as well. Ares, no escape. Ullr can hail of arrows. The bladed arrow does a really nice combo of damage, and he can use the thrown axe as well to lock up one target. They go, all right, we're going to taunt that target. We're going to lock them down. Cavalry charge. There's a lot of potential to grab one target, blow them up instantly. But when you look in the opposite direction, there's a Geb shield, there's an Isis circle of protections already on the board, and with the Loki now knocked in, they can look for the Loki Serqet combo to blow up one person and have that dot spread.
Yep. With that said, guys, I'm going to cut to a quick little break. The game is all set and ready to go, so it's going to be Crusaders facing off against Noble Esports here in just a moment. Loki is correct. I know I accidentally locked in Osiris for a split second. It is supposed to be Loki. It was a good run. I got all the way to the end without messing up. The teams were backwards and everything. So this is like almost like the perfect picks and bans from the production side of things. But because my co-caster accidentally pressed the enter key too early, blamed the spectator client, and threw me off towards the end, he caused me to mess up. His fault, not mine.
Oh,
not at all.
It's my fault.
Not at all.
It's in his contract, I swear.
It is never my fault. It's stated. It's in ink. It has been signed. That's it, guys. We'll be back at the game in just a moment. Crusaders face off against Noble Esports in this quarterfinal matchup for Week 5 of the North American Challenger Cup. Alright, guys, hello and welcome back. Crusaders facing off against Noble Esports in this one. We're going to go ahead and run through these team rosters to get things underway. I'm Poseidon here with Ranconius, and for Crusaders, left-hand side of Spectator Y, wearing those blue trunks, defending the Titan of Order. We do have Jake from State Farm, sporting those lovely khakis, playing the soul lane Guan Yu. Nearat as the support Athena. Too Many Apples in the mid lane as Poseidon. Collateral playing the support areas, and finally Xenotronics as Ho Yi in the Hunter role. Noble Esports on the other side, to be introduced by my co-caster, Ranconius.
Yep, the red health bars always get turned over to me, because, you know, red things, poisonous, that's clearly how it works. Cypher's going to be on the solo lane, Loki. Adjust is going to be on the most poisonous god in the game on the Serqet. In the jungle, BK Haste in the mid lane on the Isis. Junipera is going to be rocking it out on the Geb at the support role. And finally, Lou is going to be your Hunter Apollo. Look at that deep ward to start us off. Look at that deep ward. Look at where they've placed it. It's not directly in the pit, it's further back, which means they've gotten very aggressively from the side of Crusaders around into the side of Noble Esports.
Indeed. Apparently there was a Ho Yi on the game and not... There was an Ullr hovered over. There was an Ullr swapped out at some point to a Ho Yi. This is actually an in-game error, guys. It's nothing to do with production. It's just the client loaded the wrong god. It's totally an invasion on this right-hand side, so I can't joke about production errors or non-errors or anything like that. Double Guardians, double Hog. Oh, one buff steal, but nevertheless, no mana buff going to be coming out this time around for Cypher, which, as a Loki, is not a great situation to be in.
Yeah, no, it's just going to delay, though, the point where he can start to split push. And the matchup into the Ho Yi as well. Ho Yi just clears incredibly well, right? Cypher's not going to pick up farm early on. It's just what you expect from a Loki, you know? This is exactly the right start, the right call from both of these sides. Crusaders stealing things away from a Loki. 100% what we expected to see come through.
Oh, yeah, without doubt. Rotations, actually not rotation coming out. The jungle buffs on the Crusader side of the map being cleaned up right now, and why not? There's really nothing to stop them at this point in time. Loki didn't start Hog. Serqet's Hog already in cooldown from that speed buff. So, double Guardians, you really still don't want to fight those guys this early on as two assassins, so... Really pretty much free and clear for these guys to clean on up. There's that rotation coming out as Serqet will start making her way over to the mid lane. Poseidon, though, kind of Too Many Apples sitting under his tower, playing it safe for now. Serqet's waiting, looking for the opportunity. Might find a little damage. There's really no kill potential right now. Does have the Cobra's Kiss, though, so... no, not going to find Too Many Apples, saw the rotation coming in.
Yeah, Too Many Apples is just like, yep, I'm Poseidon. I'm just going to wave clear. I'm going to do exactly what I do best. Shove these minions away from the tower with the one, clear them out with the Whirlpool or the in-hands. It doesn't really matter. I'm Poseidon. I'm the king of the seas, and, well, I'll just clear everything. Exactly what we expected to come out from both of these matchups. High clear potential coming through from both of the mid laners. So, the kill potential does favor Too Many Apples at that level 5 point in the mid camps. It's a lot stronger from his sort of side of things. So they'll be waiting for those. Noble Esports are the ones that kind of have to put a little bit of pressure down beforehand.
Yeah, Junipera this game going to be playing Geb, not someone we typically see her playing on. Generally favored, well, Bacchus is the god who springs to mind, generally speaking, but Geb, not really the offensive, aggressive support that Junipera usually tends to play. That said, has been making good use of it. We see her constantly rolling around that rock, looking to punt somebody back towards her side of the lane. It hasn't necessarily worked out well hasn't necessarily backfired either. With Ares, you don't want to find yourself in a spot where it's like, oh, suddenly I am stuck toe-to-toe with Ares, point blank. I already used most of my abilities, and now I'm stuck here, all shackled up, burning, which as a rock is generally a bad situation if you're on fire. You know, things are going very, very wrong.
Yeah, but something else that hasn't even been talked about is the ability for Junipero to rotate around a heck of a lot quicker with that rotate. The rollout, sorry.
Out. Nerat using that friend Olympus to join the fight, coming down, will find a kill, but BK is able to answer back to the first blood, going to the side of COD Crusaders. Didn't go unanswered though, so Mid Harpy is going 1 for 1 on both sides as well. Things more or less even. COD Crusaders, slight lead just for getting that first blood secured.
Yeah, and they also rotated their Hunter in looking for the mid-camp steal on the left-hand side of things. They wanted to get a twofer. They didn't want to just grab that one. Lu on the Apollo is going to bully out a Huyi a little bit better early on, especially when you look at the fact that he's got the Spike Gauntlets and the Destals. His early sustain is a heck of a lot higher than Xenotronics. So that's what you kind of expected, right? And especially with Lu being into an Ares, how do you counter out kill pressure coming through from an Ares? You don't build a Heartseeker. That's just smart itemization. This is what we were talking about last time around in the Hunter itemization.
Yep, it's... Yeah, I'm interested to see how it plays out. Hoyi is going to be destroying a lot of damage early on. He has that stun in his kit. Yeah, Apollo has a Serenade. He can get the extra protections as well, kind of helps with that. But another fight sort of breaking out here. Mid lane Collateral getting caught and locked down. Will he survive? No, he will not. That's going to be another kill on the board, going for Noble Esports. Number 2 of the game, and Ares especially, not a god you want to start falling behind on, because if he does, there's not really much you can do.
Look at this over in the solo lane though. Cypher's actually getting behind I'm from State Farm, stealthing up, running away from that sort of spinning Volge of the I'm from State Farm, which is fantastic. You know, that's the good way that you want to be playing a Loki. You want to be A, dodging out ability, and B, getting away from their wave clear damage abilities, and then positioning yourself behind them. So you drop the decoy, get in behind. That's just good Loki play coming through from the solo lane. And now they've got kill potential as well.
Yep, the last breath plot, as is the Assassinate. I'm from State Farm, going to be falling in that particular instance. So not an ideal situation. Last breath stops any healing coming out from the conviction, and of course the extra damage coming. So he knew he was dead, so I'm just trying to go for a couple last minions before he was sent back to base to respawn. Steel Mail's online. Has some extra health, some extra protection. Is going to help him out in lane against that Loki. As the lockdown comes down to Lu over in the left lane, the shackles applied means the cripple will stop the moves from coming up. But the Cross the Skies ultimate's not prevented by that cripple, so he'll be able to fly on out to safety. But that's going to be on cooldown for about 2 minutes, so he has to be careful for for that period of time.
Yeah, and the other thing as well that comes through from that one is it's a high damage ability and the ability to initiate fights. You can sit in that duo lane and continue shoving in. So he hasn't got the ability to get safely into fights as well, or safely out of fights. Watch the ward controls start to lift on this left-hand side from the guys on Noble Esports. They need to get a lot more focus down so that Luke can be a lot more safer. So that's what's required. That's what they're gonna have to focus on at least in the next 2 minutes.
Yep. So during those next 2 minutes, the Harpy is going to be spawning here in just about 15 more seconds, so we'll see how these teams look to play this one out. You see back Harpy is getting picked up by Noble right now. This could be an opportunity for COD Crusaders to pick up both mid-Harpy camps. We'll see how exactly this one plays out. Heartseeker online, Devourer's Gauntlet online. Stack numbers are the same right now. Heartseeker gets a little more power more quickly, so the trading back and forth will be in favor of Hoyi, despite that 1 level down difference on that board. Otherwise, for the moment at least, looks like Noble Esports looking for the left side Harpy cams, right side already picked up by COD Crusaders. Collateral could look for the steal. Not sure if he got him with the shackles, but the no-scape comes in.
Yeah, now they're looking for the damage combo. Junipero's going to grab the kill on towards Collateral, and now he's forced to run away from this one. Too many apples is the one getting burst out as well. Rory charges arrive, but it's a little bit too late. Justice going to find himself another kill. Who's going to be their next focus? Lu's starting to take a lot of damage from that tower Lu assault, but the Veil will to turn it back around. The Assassinate BK Haste to pick up that one, and now the focus on towards Nerat.
Yeah, they're trying to find out one more wing gust not coming through. BK has thought he had the kill before that, looked for some extra on Xenotronics, but wasn't able to find it. That was kind of on the back of Collateral just getting exploded as that fight commenced. It's the problem with Ares. You go up in the air, you're not really able to do much. You're slowed down quite a bit when you're up in the air. If you get a pull, great, you just set up your team in a big way, but if you die before that occurs, as happened there, it was kind of a non-factor entirely. He was there, he took a couple abilities, and then it was a 4v5 fight with Noble Esports able to kind of clean up house at that point in time.
Yeah, and the fact that the no escape as well was applied on multiple gods. even if you manage able to cleanse off the stun that's coming through using those beads, the damage that it applies is a significant amount. Level 1, it's 200 damage plus 40% of your magical power. It's a lot. That is a significant amount of damage. And Searing Flesh, all of the abilities that Collateral on the Ares is able to put out, not having those as a part of the fight is huge when you've just burned through them before you can even get the no escape off.
Yep. Teleport was picked up on Cyber over in the Soul, and I'm curious if I'm from State Farm will respond in similar fashion. It's one of those actives that kind of forces your opponent in lane's hand to you either get the same exact active I did, or in a situation where I can join a team fight across the map, and then you have to walk across the map and you're going to be 10-15 seconds late to the fight, which meant the fight could very well be over in its entirety. So what the Hand of the Gods picked up, that kind of does, I don't want to say shoehorn I'm from State Farm to a specific active pickup, but his mind has been, it's like, well, Loki has, I should probably pick it up as well, but do I really need something else instead? I don't know. There's some options, but Teleport might be looking to be the best option for him as well.
However, you know, he does have the ability to sort of jump around the map rather quickly from the Warrior's Will, being able to dash, and, you know, he's got Cavalry Charge to join in as well. Cavalry Charge I don't think gives you any move speed, so he's literally just got the Warrior's Will to come through, so he's got to kind of be careful. I'm from State Farm. Yeah, I mean, he could be forced towards the teleport, but what else can he get? What's more beneficial at this point? Is it beads? Is it sprint? Is it a blink? What can he potentially pick up? Because he's a Guan Yu, it's not so much, he's got all the tools he needs to kind of initiate, so picking up a teleport's not exactly a bad thing.
Yeah. I don't see necessarily his greater sprint coming out, but I can definitely see the calling for that heavenly agility. He has heals built into his kit, so that will always help out a little bit. But the movement speed is something that always is beneficial. Removal of the slows as well. There's not... Are there any slows actually coming out? I don't believe there's any slows on the side of Noble Esports actually now. I'm looking down the lineup. Left side, the fight coming out. Collateral Defender Olympus is coming into this fight right now. We'll see if he gets there in time. Near it will drop on in. Collateral with the last breath poison ticking away. May spread of too many apples. Needs to avoid getting close by. He will fall to it. Not going to share that lovely poison. However, too many apples will survive. But the double kill came out nevertheless. 2 brought down. Noble Esports now looking for Gold Fury.
And they've picked up the Hunter and the support, so that means no Hog 3 online. There's only a Hog 2, and it's still down for 30 seconds on the side of Athena, so they've got this one. Noble Esports to pick up the first Gold Fury, but they might be looking for Nearad as well.
Yeah, they're going to be looking for kills all over the place right now. Nearad in the mid lane, caught by that last breath. Caught by something. BK Hayes finds that kill with the Spirit Ball. Gold Fury, a pair of kills, and a follow-up kill to kind of top off that lovely cake with some icing. Noble Esports starting to kind of grab control of this match.
Yeah, and in a convincing manner as well. They've picked up the Gold Fury. The last couple of mid-camps, I believe, have been going their way as well. And they're 9-1 at this point. They've got the Hunter that does have the Devourer's Gauntlets as well. So, you know, when you look at across the map, Doomorb, Heartseeker already losing stacks in this early portion of the game. There's a lot they did commit to from the side of COD Crusaders. They're able to fight very well very early on, but it's not coming their way at this point in time.
Yep, it's still early. It's 11 minutes in. First Gold Fury went down. Yeah, okay, we lost the fight right before that. They need to get to a point in the game where Collateral's actually able to find these plucks. And right now, it's looking like he might be on the receiving end of one himself. PK Hayes picks up another kill. The big issue kind of is when you're Ares, the best thing you can end up doing from behind is to stop looking for these big, massive, I need to pull the entire team at the same time plays. You're going to be behind. You don't have that extra pool of health to stay alive. You don't have the levels to give you that innate level up, the level scaling protections and health. Find 1 or 2 targets in the edge of your fight, grab them, pull them in. Even if you just burn the beads, you have the Athena with the follow-up taunt, you have the Poseidon with the Whirlpool, you have the Guan Yu with the Cavalry Charge stun, you have the other setups. Look to just pop the beads, maybe find a pull. You find a pull, great! But you cannot be looking for these big, I have to get everyone plays that just result in your death.
That's the thing though with picking Ares is that's your first mindset, right? It's very very hard to transition away from that when you pick up an Ares. But you mentioned it, they've got the composition for this stage. It's time for him to just say, all right, the team can do it. Nearat, he can initiate very very well on that Athena and then burn the beads, and then he can come in on the backside of that when they've blown a lot of their damage looking for potentially Nearat, looking for the cavalry charge from I'm from State Farm. You know, they can blow all these things looking at other people, all that damage focus, and then he can come in and look for the big no escape. That's what he's got to transition into. He just can't do it straight up. You mentioned it, 100% right.
Yeah, adjust, forcing the blink out from areas using the ambush, so nice little pickup on that one. It's still a tier 1 blink, so it's a 90-second cooldown for an ability that is already back off cooldown. Left side, Lu, not really in a bit of a rough situation right now. There's one stun coming out from these guys. Juniper going to get pulled out of that rollout by the shackles off collateral. And otherwise, right-hand lane, things just got a little bit more scary for Crusaders because tier 1 tower fell. Loki is either doing his thing that Loki does and split pushing the lane incessantly the entire game and causing all sorts of crazy headaches for them. But actually, mid lane, left side fight, bringing out Luke, finds an early kill on the apples.
And the next focus is going to go towards Xenotronics. They've got the Assassinate to come through. The teleport was online. It was perfect to come through from the Loki. And now they've got the poison dots on towards I'm from State Farm. Next focus, who's it going to be? It doesn't really matter. They've picked up 4 members and there's no Gold Fury available. But there's a Fire Giant. It's a risky call, but they do have a lot of damage.
Yeah, I think this is a bit of a safer option. Get the tier 1 tower. It's 500 gold. You can push it straight on through to the tier 2 as well. Respawn times, it will be a bit of a close call for that tier 2 tower, but they have the minions present. So they're not going to be just plowing through with the backdoor protections activated. Right side, looking for 2 for 1 here, as Loki's going to go back to that split pushing that he does oh so well. Mid lane, it's all down to Nira to try and stop this one right now. The tier 2 mid will survive. Right side, next wave of minions on its way. Cypher could look to pick this one up right now. We'll see if he can manage to do it. He's not going to stick around there where the respawn's coming back up, but he's Loki. Next, even little small glimmer of somebody not being there, he's just going to run forward and bring that one down really quickly.
Yep, mentioned it. Smack bang on, and he's able to go back and pick up a Geotune's Wrath. He can. There's a lot of items he can look for at the moment as well. He's in gold advantage. He's sitting very, very pretty at this point in time. This is not the position you really want to be playing into a Loki on. This is scary. What's the window back in from Crusaders? Fire Giant. They've got the members of the team. They've got the fight comp to fight around the Fire Giant. Gold Fury doesn't do enough damage. It doesn't shred some protect. You know, it's not big enough to really force the fight around. Collateral's not tanky enough. Collateral's too low on that level bar. So they've got to look to fight around the Fire Giant. But Noble Esports, they're not going to want to do that. They're just going to split push.
Yeah, Crusaders need to be looking for picks right now wherever they can possibly find it. They have the taunts, they have the pulls, they have the Poseidon, Kraken, Whirlpools for that bit of burst damage. Yeah, he just died, he lost half the stacks on the Doomor, but he's Poseidon. He's going to clear these waves out very, very quickly and build those stacks straight on back up. So there's not going to be too much initially right back up to 39 already. He's already picked up an extra 14 since returning back to the lane, the map, whatever you want to call it. The problem's going to be just the way Noble Esports are playing this one up. They're really always fairly grouped up, but not necessarily grouped up, but they're close enough nearby that they start to look for a pick. Noble Esports just rotates on over and backs up whoever had gotten caught. You know, air quotes on that one because they're not really caught out at any point in time because everyone is so close to. Everyone's so close, the backup is there immediately.
Yeah, and they're very aware from the side of Noble Esports as well that they've got a split push comp. So that means that they're going to be splitting up all the time. They're ahead though, they don't need to split push and they're aware of it. So they're not splitting up, and here comes the initiate upset.
Left side, Collateral will fall early on in this fight using Dive Bomb back out. Xenotronics, Defender of Olympus was forced out as well. This is going to be a Gold Fury call coming in here from Noble Esports. Kagi either looks to fight for it or will end up giving up for free, but it will be a 3v5 going to this one. Teleport still available for I'm from State Farm. But as it stands right now, it looks like they're going to let this one go.
Well, they have to. They've already lost the tower, and Cypher's rotated around. There's no Hog 3 coming through on the side. They need to get one on Athena. Collateral's just too squishy. I mean, he does have the Hog 3 online for their team, but he's just too squishy, he's too low level, and now they might get a focus on too many apples as well.
Looking for the damage, see if it's there, just doing a lot off that Serqet right now. The Kraken does come out defensively, but Lu will find that kill. It just finds the kill on too many apples, and near at very, very low. Cypher was looking for it. I'm from State Farm here, but gonna be a little too late to actually lock those guys down. I heard a blink come out from somebody. There's no escape, trying to pull these guys in the tower, but near at actually gonna force a whole bunch of crowd control removal from that. Stone shields and the beads and all those things. Surrender vote ends up coming out. Looks like Crusaders going to throw in the towel on this one.
Well, let's take a look at where they're sitting as well. Crusaders, they're in a position with the points earned from today getting into the round of 8. They're going to grab themselves another 10 points. That will go 95% of the way to securing their spot in the next round. So it's like, okay, what did we learn from here? Like, we need to burn out Cypher's Loki. All right, we can ban that out. What did we do wrong? We can go away, we can not get angry at each other. That's a smart call. You need to make sure that you maintain synergy going into a round robin phase. You've learned a lot, and you're not going to give away a lot of your play and strategy information by calling this one quits. It's only 16 minutes 40. Okay, maybe we've got a play that we want to keep in the back of our pocket. Let's keep it there. Let's not give it away. That's actually a smart call with their positioning.
I'm looking at the brackets right now, and I believe actually just with their finish today, COD Crusaders will find themselves with... I'm fairly sure they still lock themselves into a top 8 finish. Looking through those,
they're sitting at 90 points. Somebody has to finish in 3rd or higher to knock them out at this minute in time. Actually, can't even be 3rd. It has to be 2nd or 1st.
It's down to Torch, Yomi, or Lunatic's Esports. Yomi and Lunatic are already up above them, so it's down to Torch, who are still playing off against Resist Gaming right now. And that will bump them up 1 ranking. So I believe COD Crusaders, the lowest they can actually finish this week is 8th.
Yeah,
so,
and that locks them in.
Yep. Congratulations to those guys. They'll be moving on to the group stages. I believe, what's the word? Not declaration. Asterix. We may be terrible at math, and that may not be the case. I'll just throw that out there. We're kind of doing this on the fly, looking at all the data, looking at all the stats. Pretty sure that's the case, but
hypothetical math is hard.
Yes, and I'm not good at real math, so it's those eyes. When eyes come into the mix of things, it gets weird. Those stupid imaginary numbers, freaking math.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, all hypothetical math aside, we're going to be getting into your semifinals in the near future. We might even grab another round 3 game, round 8. In the meantime, we're going to be making sure that you guys get the utmost Challenger Cup action from your last week of Knockout Cups on the NA side of things. If you want to find out more about what's going on for the rest of the day, stay right here on Smite Game 2.